Alright, you guys, hi. I am driving. Thought I would do a video while I'm doing my little errand real quick. So let me roll this window up so you guys can hear me just a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so let's get into Target. My thoughts on Target. When I discovered at Big Lots, and this was sometime before summertime, maybe, so about 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago, I walked into Big Lots for whatever I needed to get, probably just perusing, looking for a deal. And I saw Target items all throughout Big Lots, and I thought that was kind of strange, but I didn't, because there's about maybe 3 different suppliers that I know, maybe 4 here in Vegas, that actually deal with Target items. They buy big, like a couple of the places, they buy truckloads and then they turn around and flip pallets, or they sell it by piece, so on and so forth. So sometimes they're my go-to, and I go there and buy a bunch of stuff and then turn around and flip it myself. So when I saw that, I was like, okay. The prices were horrendous though. The prices weren't what I showed you today, which is obviously 75%. I take additional 75% off. And one thing that I didn't mention in the first video, I noticed that a lot of the products, so for example, the shoes will always be one size. So all the shoes that I got with the kid size, I think were size 11, 12, and then the bigger sizes for the white canvas ones were size 8, adult, girl, women's, and size 10. So it's real restricted. It's not, you're gonna get size 8, 10, 9, 9.5. It's usually all one size. So I thought that was kind of interesting. When like the home goods and the decor, the sheets, Threshold sheets, what is it, Opal, I forgot, Opal House, they had their totally overpriced. It was cheaper than what it was at Target, but when I walk into Big Lots, I don't expect to pay X amount of dollars, you know, a high price or very close to Target's price for their sheets. So I just kept an eye on it, kept visiting, and as of like last week, I really started going hard on some of these stores, trying to get ready for Q4 and see what deals I could find, as I do every year. This is an every year thing, you guys. I start shopping, which I'm sure if you're like a reseller or you're flipper, whatever, you shop during the summer months. Here's a little tidbit. A lot of stuff that you know, well, it depends what kind of eye you have, and what I mean, your style, because I don't shop for me, I shop for the consumer. I don't say, oh, I don't like that. Even if I don't like it, that doesn't mean that the next 20 people, when I do a pop-up or go to a venue, they won't like it. So I try to keep a very open mind. With that being said, the products, I forgot where I was going with that, darn. Welcome me back, you guys. You know I be going in circles. So with Big Lots, a lot of the stuff was just like, it looks, okay, here it is. This is my thought. It could be summertime-ish, but it can also be used at Christmas time, the holidays. So like those, for example, those pajama pants that I showed you, some people might pass them by because here in Vegas, this is where I'm located, if you're watching the video, it's 100+ degrees. Who would want to buy fleece men's pajama pants? Oh, me, hi, because it will get colder later. I'm always thinking in advance. I'm thinking 2-3 months down the line, next year, so on and so forth. So I grabbed those for what, $1.24, something to that effect. Like I said, some of the other things that I didn't show you guys were the toys, and it was just a lot of figurines. There was one that I probably should have got. It was from like a major movie, and it would have been kind of perfect, but they were look, I was gonna say they were a little pricey. They were $3. So I decided to leave them behind, and plus I like to buy them. Well, there was enough. There's probably about 10 or 15 of them, but I decided to just leave them behind. I'm not gonna circle back because it was all the way across town. I'll let somebody else pick up the deal. But Target, I'm seeing, okay, so that was just Big Lots, right? Then I'm talking about the hold on, you guys, I'm turning on the air. The liquidation places that I like to go to here in Vegas. They also have a bunch of Target stuff. So some of the stuff, since I walk the store so often, right, I see products, like for example, I'll give you a quick example about Walmart. I was in Walmart, I probably hit, as I was hitting all the big lots, there was usually in the center, there's usually a Walmart. So when I went to Walmart, I walked into one and I saw a product that I saw last summer, and they were trying to pass it off. Walmart was trying to pass it off as it was new this summer. I'm like, no ma'am, I saw these last year and I was gonna start to buy a bunch of them. I'll just tell you, they were big beach bags. They were in like the accessor, you know what I'm trying to say, you guys, area, and it literally was flushed with them. And they didn't sell last year and they didn't sell this year. So I'm definitely seeing a slowdown with those. But back to Target. Target's merchandise is everywhere. I predicted probably when Target was having a few issues, and I won't go into it, what the issues were, but you guys can pretty much guess. They slowed down, and then they lost, I can't remember how many, 1 point or 2 billion dollars after doing a certain campaign or whatever, and it just snowballed from there. But they were having trouble before then. One thing I do want to say, I was watching this one channel. I kind of like her. She's funny, but she's very knowledgeable with her stats. She'll break it down and show you the numbers. And most people, they'll just spit out stuff and won't back it up with numbers, but she'll show you the numbers. She did a video a while back and was really honest about eBay, because I also do eBay too, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. And it was nice to see her be very honest. But I wanted her to be not honest, but truthful about the retail space. A lot of people try to paint it as all roses and sunshine, and it's not. I noticed the trend last year where it started to slow. Look, we just need to be honest, me included. Things are slowing down. People are living paycheck to paycheck. People are struggling right now, and if they have the choice to buy a bracelet, a hat, some new earrings, or whatever the case may be, they're going to choose food, paying a bill, car payment, insurance over buying new items. Let's just be 100. And when she did her video, she was very just frank and upfront about the stores that she does, Poshmark, and she does eBay. And she really said, and I commended her for that, but I wish she would have did it sooner. And I wish like when I watch videos online, it's not always what it seems, you guys, because I'm like, okay, I'm in the space and I'm not struggling, but it's slow for me. So, and everybody has different items in their store, but just be honest. And then a lot of people say, well, we don't know what it is, and then they regurgitate what they saw on the news and say, no, everything's fine. No, everything isn't fine. Because if you have, I love feet on the ground. So back in the day, so I would say just go back a year and a half to definitely before 2020, I would be in the stores literally 5 days a week, and I would have a run. And you guys heard me say this before, I have like 7 main Walmarts that I'll go in a loop and shop. So if I see a deal at one, I'll go to the next one to try to get the deal there, so on and so forth, looking just for all kinds of deals, walking through electronics, definitely the kids section, shoe section, so on and so forth, looking for deals. So it's slowing. You can't tell me. The area that I live in is actually really nice. It's on the outskirts of Vegas, or Henderson, I could say, but everywhere's slowing, because I have no problem going across town. I literally went from one side of Vegas to the south side, to the north side. I went to the west side, east side, because I used to live in the east side. So I've been everywhere, and it's just like see people struggling, or what they're buying, what they're putting back. I listened to a mother yesterday yell at her kids, which kind of takes me back. To like, she goes, well, I'm not going to get you guys anything, I just whatever. And she was kind of, yelling at the kids, and the kids were looking like, whatever. But as I checked out, I saw them checking out, and I'm just going to say, it was at Walmart, self-checkout. Literally, I know half those things were not going to make it across that scanner. I'm just saying. I actually was almost going to buy her stuff for her and help her out. But as I saw what was going to transpire, I said, yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and leave it alone. She was having issues with the cashier. So I said, yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone. And I just walked, got my stuff and left. But anyway, circling back to Target. Target is struggling. They're on my radar to actually go bankrupt. They're closing multiple stores, and when I mean multiple, I mean like probably comfortably in the 10s to 50s to 100s. I forgot the numbers. They're just not selling. There's no reason for me to walk into Big Lots and see a big array of all kinds of home goods, bedding, toys, clothing, shoes in Big Lots. There's no reason for me to go cross town to a big liquidation place and they to have it. Then go another cross town and see that they have their stuff too. And it's really some of this stuff, actually a lot of it, it's all new and it's nice. It's just stuff that didn't sell. No one wanted it. And then for them to keep it at their prices, meaning Big Lots, at first it wasn't selling. That's why, if you notice, the only other thing in Target right now that is 75% off is the seasonal stuff, because we're moving into the holidays. So why is the Target stuff, you know what I'm saying, 75%? Because it didn't do well. It didn't even do well in Big Lots. That's kind of sad, but it's the truth, because I was watching it. I was paying attention. So when I saw 75% off the first store, I was able to pick up a few items for myself, some workout pants, which I was really pleased with. Rule number 1, or rule number 65 with me, is never buy one of something. Last year, when these Walmarts in the Southwest were remodeling, let me tell you guys, they were having, and see, did I post that? No, I didn't give you guys those videos. I was being real quiet then, and I made a lot of money. A lot of money. And the money that I made, it was from other vendors. That's another thing I like to do. I like to buy in bulk. When I say bulk, 25, 50, 100 pieces if I can. Walmart was they were marking everything down at these. There was a 3-strip run I would go to, and it was crazy. And there wasn't a team of us, but there was like maybe 3 or 4 of us, and one, I don't know if I should, but he watches me, and I was just talking to him last night. He just threw me some deals, and there's 3 Walmarts that are just like in one strip. You just kind of go from one side of town to another side of town, and all 3 of those stores, it was dollar mania. Well, 2 of them were real heavy, the other one not so much, but they had dollar everything. The best thing that I probably got were Reebok outfits. Why is Reebok at Walmart? If you've been into Walmart lately, Reebok is in there heavy. I'm talking about sweatsuits, sweatshirts, sliders, the whole 9. But these were cute little girl outfits. And like I said, I've been real quiet. People probably like, where's she at? Is she still? Yeah, I never left. I just stopped posting. Probably at the end of this video, I'll show you some of the deals, because I always take pictures to show you. But these outfits were so cute. So we're at the 13-minute mark. We'll probably stay to the 15-minute mark, and I'll show you at the end of the video, you guys. You'll get to see the dollar deals that I was just like killing and turning around and selling for, like, I mean, they were literally $1. And I was selling them for like $5. I was having $5 sales, because you want to keep the customer interested. And it was nothing to me to go back and get more product. You know, they had, it was like 2 good weeks worth of them blowing out their merchandise. Pajamas, it was just everything. It was crazy. So within those months, it was just really beautiful. And I was just making a lot of money, like every weekend. And then I would have people that would come that were at where I was and buy up like half a tables, whole tables. Maybe I'll have 4 tables for the day. They'd be like, they'll watch to see which item was the most popular, and then they would turn around and say, I want the rest of those, because they wanted to like basically cut me out, which I have no problem with, because once I buy it and it leaves my table, I don't care what you do with it, how much you hike it up. I'm pricing it reasonable so you can make some money and I can make some money. Don't be greedy. You know, if I can always double my money, I wouldn't sell some of those items for $2, and I definitely didn't. $5 was probably my floor, but you know, they were like, I had already made my profit like 5 times fold. So everything after that was just the, you know, the cherry, the whipped cream, the chocolate syrup, and whatnot. All right, you guys. Target, yeah, my prediction is retail is definitely slowing. I might give you guys another video on my thoughts if you resell and what's coming up September, October. Just something to strategize. Definitely strategize. Watch the next video. I'm going to post it tonight. Strategizing for the next 2 months, which is going to be, it's about to be what, August, September, October. These are just my thoughts, but I'm throwing it out there. Not to say, hey, I said it first, but to say, hey, you might want to rethink a few things that you're doing, and it wouldn't hurt. And it's what I'm doing, because I need all bases covered moving into these next couple of months to make money. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll put those pictures at the end of this video, you guys. Bye.